Boom! We're off with another episode of Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Snyder, here with my boy. This little piggy became a podcaster. What's up, Zach Elias?
This little piggy did become a podcaster. Who knew? How about that?
How
about them piggies?
Your obsession with pigs and everything is absolutely ridiculous.
That wasn't my obsession. It's our obsession. We've got a thing.
Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. Tuesdays, we do it live. We're doing it Wednesday today and Wednesday next week. I don't know if you picked up on that, but people watching this sometimes months in advance, come back on Tuesdays. Tuesdays is when we do this live. We post everything on Saturdays. We want people to hang out. We're on YouTube. We have our own Facebook page. I enjoy the comments. I know you love the comments.
I love the comments. And by the way, I also love the little opening segue. When you said you didn't know what Otis meant and then went into Booze Your Daddy last week, I fell with that laughing. Listen to it. I don't know why. It just got me.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Episode 129. We're calling this Ready Playa 1, which you kind of helped coin this past week as we were talking about a couple of things. So I thought we'd tie. I actually Googled Ready Playa 1. Nothing. Not a thing.
It's me?
Everything went back to Ready Player 1. There was not one playa.
Spielberg bought all that stuff out.
It's a good one. Zach, before we get into today's episode, why don't you tell everybody what we are drinking?
From Starbucks and the Elysian Brewing Company. It's a split shot espresso milk stout. This will be bad.
You don't when I say especially. If I said espresso, what would that do?
I would plots. Espresso. In Seattle, beer and coffee are like siblings, jealously dividing the day. The split shot espresso milk stout brings them both together, combining the local talents of the Elysian Brewing Company and the Stumptown coffee in a deliciously smooth, very Northwest beer.
I don't think this is going to be great, but because we keep going back to Elysian, shout out to the feelings. The feelings.
Girl, some Walla Walla, wherever.
Release a Kraken. Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, my top is dirty. There it is. Smells okay.
It's a milk stout. That's what it tastes like. Nothing special.
No,
if you like stouts, it is what it is.
No, I don't like stouts.
Zach, I made a bad one because last week we should have done this beer because remember I told you I went out with some people to watch hockey?
Okay.
At the end of the meal at this Irish bar, of course they say, would you guys like some shots? Which every one of us is over 35, so we immediately go, no, we don't. And the guy goes, how about a dessert shot? And then he says, on the house, which you're like, okay.
Should have opened with that.
The guy brings over a shot that basically looked like this beer can. It was dark. It was light brown. Kahlua and Bailey's Irish Cream. We all take this shot immediately. Are like, I could go for 7 more of those. It was chocolate cake. It was fantastic.
That's what it is. It's what he drinks the Dick Lebowski. It's Caucasian.
A white Caucasian. We say that. At the same time, I meant to throw in my buddy Josh, who was there that night, as pishadoo candidate for last week, but I'll throw him in for this week early because he kept on ordering a half and half. Do you know what that is in an Irish pub?
Like half Harp and half Guinness?
Yes, except he went half, and I quote, Smithwick's, which is the red Irish ale.
Get him out. Get it out. Get it
and
out.
I immediately
his accent.
I immediately correct him and say, do you mean Smiddix? And the Irish waiter quickly was like, oh, say that for me again. I said, Smiddix. He goes, a boy who's been to an Irish pub before. And
I went to a real Irish pub yesterday, like to the point where it was like overheated. The bartender was 90. He smelled terrible. And everything on the menu, like food-wise, was like $3 cheaper than it should have been based on current pricing. Food was excellent. Just tucked away, hole in the wall down in the financial district before we went to go see Offspring. They were pretty good.
Before we get to your Offspring, quickly about the Irish pub, I went for the shepherd's pie last week. It was horrible. I am never making that mistake again. But at the same time, I had a patient. Do you remember the old ESPN commercials where I think it was Guinness maybe, and that there was brilliant, yes, brilliant.
Yes, I do.
My guy was the voice of that. And then
Really?
There was a pub around, his name's Malachi. There was a pub around the corner named Malachi's, not for him, but he drank there all the time. It's like 72nd and Columbus, maybe?
Okay.
So anyway, Josh, early candidate for Smithwick's. That really, really made me mad.
That's high on the list.
Zach, before we get into today's episode, so we're doing this on a Wednesday. Did Offspring play the one song last night?
What's the one song?
I did some research because
they had like 10 hits, dude.
They did. Yeah, you're right. I backing down quickly because I went to the Spotify and you know every word to their top 5 songs.
Yeah.
And I was curious, 2 questions. One, Pretty Fly for a White Guy, love it or hate it?
I actually like the song, hate the chorus, and hate what people know it for. The rest of the song, like the nonsense portion, it's fine actually. The Pretty Fly for a White Guy is pretty dumb. Other than and the first album, Smash, is the highest selling independent album of all time. It's insane. Like they were huge in '94.
So are you.
Yeah, I was.
My other question was, did you hear their cover of the Joe Exotic Here Kitty Kitty? Have you ever heard that? I'm assuming they don't play that.
No, never heard it.
You saw Tiger King, obviously, back when
Yes.
it, and you remember Joe Exotic had one, it's called Here Kitty Kitty, which was not very good.
I remember it.
Offspring did a remix. You will download it tonight. It is so good.
I'm into that.
So good. It
No,
really
they were
turned
good,
out.
and they were funny, and they bantered. They're quirky as hell, these guys. And like the guitar
slapstick.
player is like 10 years older, and he only befriended them because he was the only one they knew old enough to get them alcohol in the day. He was like the janitor at the local school. A weird
Mop all day long.
thing. Pretty much, except now he's a bajillionaire.
All right, Zach. Episode 129, Ready Playa 1. So you want to tell the story of how we got there, or should I?
What are we getting there?
How the story kind of came up. Well, this past week on Atlanta, the name of the episode, I think I can say this clearly, was Rich Wigga, Poor Wigga. You're making a face, which clearly means, and I polled the audience. I polled so many of my friends. I was like, am I allowed to say that? I'm going to call it the W word from here on out. Am I allowed to say that?
You could
And
say it.
most people are like, I don't know. But if you have to ask, the answer is probably no. And then I've been bouncing around the question of like, what do you call that guy? And some people
We
are
all
like,
came up with the same word, didn't we?
ghetto. I've heard urban is a nice way of saying it.
I'm from born and raised in Manhattan. I'm urban.
Well, this episode's about you because in our description that I've listed, urban is how I'm calling this episode.
Okay.
The reason why I'm asking is because I watched last week's episode. Julia's working on the show on Showtime. It's called Z-Way, and they had on a guest named Chet Hanks, who you've never heard of, but that last name rings a bell, right?
The Tom Hanks' son?
So Tom Hanks has 2 sons that I know of. Maybe he has more, both with Rita What's-Her-Face. The older son, Colin, he's in everything these days. He was in Fargo. He's in The Offer, a great show I'm watching about The Godfather right now. You know who he is.
He was an Orange County ball in.
Oh, exactly. He kind of looks like him, sounds similar enough. Well, the younger son has gone full heel the other way. So what's the term we're using? What's the term you want to use for this to describe somebody who is just embracing their urban side?
I would have said what you can't say, but there we go.
There we are. So this guy, Zach, dare I say, is embarrassing. It is so bad. He sits during an interview. He tries to speak Jamaican. The guy is just embarrassing is the only way to say it. Like, right?
You know what else is embarrassing? Kenny My Heart not liking Offspring. Keep coming.
Oh, big Incubus guy, though. If
They
that brings
suck.
I can't hear Incubus and not think of him.
They suck.
So Zach, I'm watching this the other day, and this interview was so painful. He's a guy who just sits during the interview and randomly just yells, "Bumba just out of nowhere. And I'm just going, it was so cringily embarrassing, and you've watched this progression of him get there. So I guess I'm bringing this full blown around to, you never know what you're going to get with your kid, right? Your kid can be gay, straight, up or down. It really doesn't matter. I support any of their choices to be who they are. Would you care if your daughter ended up going down that road? Would you be like
the female version of that?
I don't know what that's called.
I don't care. She became a lot of things. Part of being a parent is caring and like, you know, trying to get your way and then not getting their way. You know, they go against you. You want your kid to get a lip ring? No, but they do. But you don't want it. You don't root for it at birth.
But certain things you just can't. If your kid doesn't like sports, it is what it is. But there's certain things that you just go like, oh my God, what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
like,
those
why
giant
would you
discs in your ear because those don't heal. Good luck on an interview. As Offspring would say, why don't you get a job?
Why do you say that? At my youngest nephew's t-ball game a couple weeks ago, one of the dad coaches had massive dreadlocks. And the only thing going through my mind for a white guy with dreadlocks was, wow, this guy is really committed to not having a career.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Speaking of callback, not having a career, and what we talked about last week, I was on the subway 2 days ago.
You don't say.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. This is a flat out, full on beggar doing his spiel. He gets to somebody, and she gives him $1, and he starts negotiating. No, could you really give me 5? I don't want to. He's like, I was baffled. She gave him money, not even like a penny.
A George Washington.
Yeah, and that wasn't good enough for him. It didn't meet, like, he didn't ask for 5. He just asked for money. She gave him money, and then he doubled down. I would have asked for it back. No, you know what? You got greedy. Give it back, you hoser.
What are you, 1920s? My great-grandfather?
Yeah, I probably am. I'm called a hoser.
That's a story that gets told in my family all the time by Harry Snyder, my dad's grandfather, who puts a tip in the waiter's hand. Waiter keeps the hand out. He sits there. The guy takes it back and goes, now you don't got to worry about it.
Good for him. I have never seen a homeless guy get money and then negotiate and ask for more. I was baffled and elated at the same time. I almost texted you, but then I figured this would be a better forum for it.
What's he have to lose? I'm all for it.
He has to lose his $1.
Wait, you take the $1 and put it away, and it's no backsies.
Yeah, I guess it is. I guess he went for it. He saw
like you sneeze on it, right? You just sneeze. You lick the $1 and you're like, do you want this now? Or stick it down your pants and be like, come get it, baby. That's your $1. Oh my God. Must be the real estate agent, Jojo. Zach, here's a story also related to what we're talking about. I heard this story. It was trending the other night on Twitter, where walls are thin and some nice white gentleman is playing a game, watching something, and he is just screaming N-bomb after N-bomb after N-bomb to the point that the lady next door records him, which is always the move. We talked about this. Comes next door, knocks on the door. Is like, can you try not to say this anymore? And the guy was kind of like, I didn't realize what I was doing, what I was saying. No big deal. The lady ends up, he's a law school student. The lady goes to his law school and is now getting him expelled from school for this type of thing.
There wasn't a number that could have made that not happen.
He must not be a very good lawyer. He's a student. He's in school.
What school?
I don't know. Go fuck you.
Yeah, well, go fuck you is still different than like Columbia because there's money there. So I would have extorted them. So this is happening, and I'm going to the dean with it. Let's start the bidding.
That's
how much do you want to buy my phone for?
In 2022, that's not what people care about.
That's because it's ridiculous. I would have made him an offer to buy my phone, and it would be a hell of a lot more than Apple charges for it.
Okay, moving on from there. Is the lady right to do this to this person? Or do you think what you say in your own house is your own business?
I don't love the word. There is a freedom of speech thing. It seems like an escalation. She could have started somewhere like, could you please stop? 2 days later, if you won't, stop again. It seems like a big jump for offense number 1.
And the school being like, yeah, we don't like our people represented like that.
No, I don't. I think the school did the right thing. If that came to me as the school, get him out.
Fair enough.
But I think that she could have handled it other ways.
Your first instinct was to extort money. You're defending your morals, but your first instinct was, oh yeah, she could have been rich.
Yeah, but he still wouldn't have had his life ruined. He just would have been a little light in the wallet.
You are the definition of socially liberal, fiscally conservative.
Yeah. I think you can stick whatever you want wherever you want, but let's balance the budget. Yeah.
What I really wanted to do with today's episode was do some type of how black are we quiz, which is, by the way, totally the point of what people are so mad about these days is us Jew. They really are. So I actually went and did a little bit of Googling on because truthfully, I think I am way blacker than you, way blacker.
You're from Baltimore. You go for the low rises.
I did a quiz. I'm 30% black, which I was like, that's not very good.
Yeah, I've done those too, and it's like 7.
7.
Yeah, let's go. What do we got here?
We'll get there. Zach, something I came across in my travels.
30's pretty good, by the way.
Well, part of the time I knew the answer when it was like, what do you call your mom's sister? And I don't call her auntie, but I knew that was the answer I was supposed to pick if I wanted to be ethnic.
But you say aunt?
I say aunt, yeah.
I say aunt because I'm a waspy Jew.
Technically, aunt is correct because flaunt, aunt, that is correct.
I am correct.
One that I came across that I didn't know what to push. Did you know that apparently it's a very Black thing when you get the birthday cake and your name is on there to not eat that piece or at least save it to the end?
You're supposed to smudge it and put it on your bestie's nose.
But seriously, did you know that that's like you don't cut the person's name out of a cake?
No, why do I know that? In my house, you smudge it and you put it on your best friend's nose. That's what we do. That's real.
The name?
Yeah, you smudge the name and you put it on your friend's nose. That's a thing.
What?
Don't worry about it. Keep going.
Oh my god! Wow, we're gonna circle back to that.
Sure.
Of all the things in that you can make stereotypes for, the whole name thing was one that I was like, that's not a thing, and I started googling. That's a thing.
So you can't cut someone?
Blew my mind.
Hmm.
Segue to blew my mind. This is the complete most random thing in the world. I got Axe body wash to use just at the store the other day because I was like, you know what? I want to smell nicer. It's not like I need so much conditioner these days.
Nicer, so you bought Axe?
Yeah.
You won't. B, is this 98? What are we doing?
I see the commercials. The girls chase you when you have the Axe body spray, Zach. That's what
they chase you when you crack a Corona also on commercials. Or a Fanta.
Don't you want to?
I do.
So, Zach, I have this Axe blue body wash that I'm using today before this episode. And I use it for the first time, and it starts making this like big blue foam type of thing all over my body. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I know this is
your pipes so badly.
It probably will, but when's the last time that you had I was covered in blue soap? I don't know why. I was like, am I in the Blue Man Group? This is fantastic.
I can answer that question. When Zoe and her little friend put a glitter, a bath bomb in her sink, clogged the sink, and this became my problem. Jenna left me alone with these two for 10 minutes, and all hell broke loose. My hands were covered. Their hands were covered. I was practically about to cry. 10 minutes I couldn't handle it. It was chaos reigned.
Zach, moving on to pishadoo of the week. You said that you have some candidates. Should I go or do you want to jump in?
Go.
All right. This is more of a personal thing. Candidate number one, the NBA is going to be naming the Eastern Conference Finals MVP now and the Western Conference Finals. They're giving it the Magic and the Bird names. I think a conference finals MVP, even an NBA finals MVP, is one of the dumbest things ever. It's like, congratulations, you had a good couple of games.
I don't mind finals MVP or playoffs MVP in general, but
conference finals.
Stupid. That's dumb. And naming it for somebody, I wouldn't mind naming that shit trophy. That's a participation trophy.
Agreed.
I don't like it.
Number two,
I hated enough to. I'm gonna hate something that you've got more, but
fair enough. Last week, I was very excited for the NFL schedule release. I sat around, I waited for that thing to go off. I watched it by myself, just loving it because it's football, and why not? Now,
just naked with a belt around your neck, kind of thing.
Do you have cameras in here? How did you know what I was doing?
I know.
So I'm not saying that Jameis Winston is the smartest guy ever. He's had a couple of issues in the last couple of years, even going back to college, but they had him on. He's rehabbing. He's going to be the Saints quarterback. And they sat there, and this is probably like hour 2, and they asked him his thoughts on the schedule. And he was like, what schedule are you talking about? And they're like, well, the NFL schedule. You got this. And the announcers were helping him. You got this team week 1. He had no idea the NFL schedule came out. He had no idea why he was on the show.
That's pretty good.
He was baffled. I was like, it's an NFL.
No idea why he was in the room.
It was over an interview over the internet.
Yeah, but fine, but he had no idea what the.
He thought it was the NFL Network just bringing him on to talk about life and whatnot. He had no idea. It was hysterical.
That's pretty funny.
A lot of sports ones. Number 3, I always say that this is a Colinism. Colin Cowherd, something he says. But when you're going to own a sports team, basketball's the way to go. Why? As an owner, you sit on the floor. No other sport do you really get to be up in the limelight and everything. A-Rod bought a piece of the Minnesota Timberwolves. He was at Game 7 last week. I don't know if it was a competitive game or not. Apparently, he fell asleep sitting in his seat. Caught on camera.
Good for him.
You're such a grandfather. You're like,
epileptic. It's tiring, these games. By the way, Offspring last night, great show. It started at 8-something. They play hard. They play fast. You're out by 10 o'clock. You're home by 10:30 if you take a cab. Fantastic.
No opener?
Who the hell? What?
No opener?
The opener was on at 7. It's great. We walked in. They were finishing their set.
Who was the opener for that? Mighty Mighty Boss Tones?
Yeah, right. There was some band named Radkey, 3 brothers. From what we heard, they were okay. I heard 3 songs.
Yitz?
No, from East St. Louis. I Googled them.
Candidate number 4. The Caps just got knocked out by the Florida Panthers, who are now playing against the Ning. We were talking about this. The Florida Panthers, I have seen enough games there that every time the opponent, the Capitals, score, they play that famous song, the A, B, C, D, E, F, U, N, N. Do you know the song?
No.
Okay. It's a famous song. The chick who wrote his name's Gail. So it's a funny kind of like, F you because you just scored. Although I thought it was kind of silly that you're playing something when the opposing team scores, because if I'm there, even though the message is F you, I am belting out every goal, screaming A, B, C, D. I thought that was so dumb that they play an away team goal. Nothing. Okay.
If it's a thing, it's a thing. Go on.
The other day, I sent that link to you. I sent it to anybody that I've talked to recently. Grubhub was giving away a free lunch.
They fucked it up.
Did they? What happened?
Apparently, it crashed, and 60% of the people who ordered their free lunch, it never showed up.
Ooh, did not know that.
Oh yeah, I saw on the Pat Kiernan show this morning.
I sent it to the top 10 people I'd been talking to in the last couple of days. So anybody listening to this who didn't get it, sucks to suck. One of my buddies,
I'm gonna get your food anyway.
The father of the girl who I tormented with the UFC fight, who was all bloody. Remember that story from back in the day? My buddy Kevin, he responds, YTMND. And I was like, dude, what? And he goes, you the man now, dog. The fact that we had to go through this, I was like, what is wrong with you?
Oh my God,
what an asshole. You the man now, dog. That is
one.
Candidate number 5. Keeping this moving. Here's a better story. TGI Fridays, now labeled Fridays, is going on a campaign that people are eating hamburgers the wrong way. What happens is they have the bigger bun, which is supposed to absorb all the juices, which if you ever get a burger from there, the bottom bun is just to shit by the time you get it from all the juice drive. They want you to turn your hamburger over and eat it backwards, because most people do it incorrectly because the bun is more aesthetic, but you're doing it the wrong way. That's their hard stance on this.
That's fine. They may be right. Shouldn't they serve it that way? Why should I do their job for them?
Doesn't look good is what they're saying.
But then you have to flip it. The waiter should flip it. Then they put sesame seeds on the bottom. Zhuzh it up.
The sesame seeds does not just make it prettier on the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Make the bottom pretty.
There was this past weekend.
I don't care.
I don't know if this is the original Velociraptor skeleton, but Christie's had a sale, and for $12.4 million, one of the most authentic Velociraptor skeletons was sold. And it looks pretty true to what Jurassic Park is, except Velociraptors were the size of turkeys. So if you were ever in Jurassic Park and a Velociraptor came, you could punt that thing 40 yards away from you.
Fuck around.
A turkey? You're kidding me.
Yeah, but they come from the sides. Like that guy with the cool hat.
Clever girl.
Yeah, him. That's the guy. I say that all the time, by the way. And every time a girl does something clever, rarely, I say clever girl.
Bumaclot, Zoe.
Something like that.
So nothing? You're the fact that they made Velociraptors 10 times bigger, that you're just like, yeah, whatever, they're still terrifying.
Hollywood takes liberties. I would love to have a Velociraptor skull. Not for $12 million, but
Not skull, the whole thing.
Oh, that's awesome. It's cool. I want it. I want it now.
Do you got a loose 12 mil?
Full Veruca. I want it now. Not a loose one.
I don't
have a tight one.
All right, 3 sports to end this. I haven't been following the Jerry Judy story. I'm not even sure what details have been released. Homeboy had, that's a good one, 3 cell phones, which is what apparently set off this domestic fight with him and his baby mom or whatever. 3 cell phones. Why?
One that people know about, one that's the bat phone, and one that's the bat phone.
I say bat phone too. That's an entourage drop. That's great.
Yeah. One that's on the ankle.
You're supposed to say a work phone. He doesn't need one for work. I've had 2 phones.
Throw the ball, catch the ball. You don't need a phone for that.
I had a work phone, so I had 2 phones in my heyday. Why would you ever have 3 phones?
Dating apps. I don't know. Too many fish.
God. Plenty of fish.
That's the one.
All right. Number 9, Mike Clevenger, pitcher for the San Diego Daddies, has long hair, and it's the Padres.
I got it. That's why I laughed.
He is now fully embracing pigtails down the side of his head.
I love that.
You're a love?
I love that. It's so douchey. It's amazing.
He looks like Pippi Longstocking with the hat on.
He braids him?
Yes.
I got looking this up as we speak.
I got a picture for you. And Zach, number 10, the statue that was erected outside of Shitty Field of Tom Seaver is getting all types of blowback because
Blow black? Is that what you just said?
blowback. Sorry,
So you're
sir.
going to edit that out, but that's apropos.
Apparently, they used the wrong numbering.
I love it.
They used the wrong numbering on Tom Seaver's back of his jersey on the statue. Not that they got the number wrong, but they used I don't know what year he played. Yeah, the wrong font of the numbering, which fans are in an uproar right now. Like, oh, that's the 1975 jersey numbers, and he was on the.
What to do there is any fan that knows the fucking font.
Fonta.
Cats.
You know he's come. You know he might come to play for us tomorrow.
I
right?
heard. I'm very nervous. Like they always say, like never meet your heroes. I'm very nervous to meet Ron Cats.
Zach, I laughed out loud when you texted that. Like driving my car, I laughed out loud.
Well, I'm very excited to meet him.
All right. Did I cover any of your pishadoo candidates?
No, you didn't. My first candidate, anybody on the Cincinnati Reds who lost a no-hitter. They're just going for it as a team.
6th time that's happened. I looked it up.
I know, but not when you're historically bad. They are just like, what an insult to injury. That's just when you lower the curtain. But for me, the real pishadoo is anyone in the Powerball lottery sphere who got it wrong. Do you hear about this?
I did, and they have to pay the person out something.
And the 9.
It has a line under it.
Yeah, it's like golf irons. It's not rocket science. And as a lottery girl or guy, you have not even one job, like half a job. Just look at Zoe could do this job. It is not hard. Getting that wrong, mortifying. Just idiots.
Magic Bird trophies. No. We got Jameis didn't know the schedule was coming out. A-Rod fell asleep. Panthers goal scorers. No. You the man now, dog. I think that's going to win. TGI Fridays, you're eating your hamburger wrong. Dinosaur skeleton, way smaller than the movies. Jerry Judy has 3 phones. Mike Clevenger's pigtails, which you love. Maybe you're the pishadoo for loving that. Tom Seaver's Mets jerseys. And don't forget Josh saying Smithwick's repeatedly while ordering a half and half, which means you've had it once or thrice.
You're the man, dog. What an asshole.
You're the man now, dog.
Him too. What a dork.
All right, Zach. I got trivia. You want to talk about what gives you the red ass?
Oh, sure. I mentioned it last week. Just things, but I'm not going to do it in a negative way. I'm going to say something I like, but in a miserable way because we're miserable guys. So as I was watching my Premier League, as I'm one to do, I truly love the concept of relegation. Football teams, like our football, not their football, should do it. Just call the Jets, Lions, and Browns and say, you know what? If you guys don't get it done this year, we're going to the USFL, which is the only way the USFL is going to take off, is to be an underling league where their best 3 teams come up and my shitty Jets and whatever go down. Relegation is a brilliant way to make competitive sports actually competitive. College football needs it too. That way, jerk-off state doesn't schedule Alabama to get pounded 62-3 for a payday. They wouldn't schedule that game because they're getting relegated. Enjoy Division II. Relegation, I'm all in. You can send those Reds down also with their no-hitter loss. And the Orioles, enjoy.
The problem jerk-off state is great. Is that a directional school?
It depends how they do it.
I actually am a fan of that. The problem is nowadays with the name, image, and likeness in college sports, like USC has so much money. Give it like 2 years, they're going to be the Alabama. It's just money's going to rule those college schools.
Great, and the bottom team won't schedule that game. You'll get Alabama versus USC, a game you actually want to see. The bottom teams won't want to have too many losses because they get sent to Division II with the Orioles.
Twice. That's one more, and I'm fighting back.
Beetlejuice.
All right, my turn. I'll mute you because you're vibrating anyway. There's a new trend of girls matching their lipstick to the colors of their nipples. I can't make this up, but I want to work in that department store where I have to be the one to figure it out. First, 50 Shades of Grey. Now, 100 Hues of Brown. The only 2 colors of lipstick I ever noticed was Sexy Red and Gothic Black for those whose daddies didn't hold them quite enough. It doesn't really matter if you coordinate your boobs and your lips, but something about this kind of tickles my pickle. I say we should lean into it and start naming them. Here's what I got. Brazilian brown, Chinese charcoal, even Jew girl juniper. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's double D's.
I'm cowering. I'm just horrified. I got nothing to say to that. Brazilian. I got nothing.
Charcoal Chinese?
I'm perfect. Fantastic.
All right, Zach, we got a couple of minutes. I said I wasn't going to test your blackness. I lied. I got 5 for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Multiple choice. Who was the first of them to twerk? Was it
Ooh, go on.
Beyonce, Miley Cyrus, Iggy Azalea, or Nicki Minaj?
Oh, but they're not all. Well, they're all ladies. I'm going to say, well, is it coining the term, or is it the first to actually shake their ass in such manner?
I believe it was the latter, the first to shake their ass in such manner.
Who are my choices?
Bey, Miley, Iggy Azalea, or Nicki Minaj?
I'm going to say Iggy Azalea.
Correct answer was Queen Bey. 0 for 1.
All right.
When somebody braids their hair, one down here, one over here, one over here, and one over here. For our listening audience, that's 4 of them. Are those called cornrows, ponytails, Kim's pigtails, or boxer braids?
4?
That's the picture.
I think it's cornrows, but it could be boxer. I think it's cornrows.
Correct answer is cornrows. When I did the test, I clicked boxer braids. I was like,
no,
it looks like a boxer.
I thought cornrows had more rows, but I think it doesn't. Not quantity. It's the quality of the rowing. Okay, go on.
Question number 3. Which Kool-Aid flavor is most beloved by families?
Nope. Next, pass.
Red, lemon lime, summer punch, tropical punch.
Oh, so you didn't give me the. Okay, I'm gonna go with red.
Correct answer is tropical punch. Fruit punch is always the right answer.
Yeah, that's.
Got that right.
I thought we were going somewhere else.
Question number 4. When your hair texture has a naturally tight curl or coil, your hair is
Nappy. Next.
Zach! Good night, Anita. Are you kidding me? That's going to get edited. I'm going to have to edit the video for that.
Why? What were your choices?
Pressed, relaxed, laid, kinky.
Oh, kinky. It's the same thing.
You're the worst.
It's the same word.
And last,
right.
If you hear your child say, wow, that woman is iced out, what do they mean? A, that woman is dressed really nice. B, that woman looks like she needs a cold drink. C, that woman is wearing a lot of diamonds. Or D, that woman looks like she may be very cold.
Diamonds.
Diamonds is correct.
That's universal vernacular.
Don Imus over here.
Oh, my Don Imus. I don't have the hat.
Zach, did you see what I leaked for our...
That was like 4. That was 5?
That was 5. Did you see what I posted today for how excited I am for tonight's show? They're doing a Ravens 30 for 30 filming right now. The Baltimore Ravens 2000 team, they're doing a 30 for 34, which I am so excited. I saw this on Twitter. First comment under it is, they should make it 15 for 15 and cut out Trent Dilfer. That's great. That's great. All right, Zach.
20 to life.
Booze your dad of the podcast. Thanks for listening to this episode. Make sure you're downloading, review, subscribe. Come join us.
This was a wacky one. This one was fun.
We were out there. Before we sign off, Zach, happy early birthday. Did you hear Norm has a special coming out next week or maybe 2 weeks?
Did not.
Left.
Posthumous?
Yeah, left something for everybody.
All right, I like it.
I'm excited.
All right.